Welcome. Scheduling your job interview should be handled with the same level of strategicness as every other part of your job search. So here's what I want you to do. Number one, take the first interview available. Yeah, I know you're nervous. You want to make sure you have enough time to prepare. So you're like, I'll schedule my interview for, oh, they have options next week or the week after. Don't do this. Okay. Here's the thing is that do not have to guarantee that they're going to keep all those interviews. And you read about it all the time on LinkedIn, right? You read about interviews that get canceled. When they find the right person, they may cancel your interview. So go with the first available option so that you are reducing the likelihood of that happening. So that's number one. Number two, make yourself available. Now, if you are not currently working, the make yourself available should be fairly easy. And if they ask you to suggest possible times, give them, tomorrow, the next day with pretty open availability. If you are working, it's going to take some maneuvering. Look for your free periods, look for your lunchtime, look for before work, look for after work. And if necessary, doctor's appointments, calling in sick, do what you need to do. If this is important, you need to look out for yourself. Remember that if you woke up one day and you had 102, you wouldn't go to work and you would call in sick at the last minute. So if this is what you need to do to get to where you need to go for your own career, do what's necessary to get to that interview. Okay. Next, be mindful of time differences. So sometimes you may be in a different time zone as the person that you're interviewing with, especially with the abundance of remote positions. So if they're asking you to suggest a time, list it in both times. So let's say, you're in Eastern time and the employer's in Pacific time. When you're listing the time, list it as both. So 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and list those and be very clear in those communications so that there's no misunderstanding about what time you're attending that interview. I've seen people mix up time zones and show up at the wrong time for their interview and miss their interview. So be very clear in that communication. Speaking of communication, employers, recruiters will often say, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Take a moment, gather all your questions at one time so that you are not sending a plethora of and another thing and another thing and another question, because that showcases the communication skills that you have once you're hired. So if you have some questions, put them all together, ask them at one time. And the last thing you should really remember when scheduling this interview is think about the other person. Think about the recruiter. So even if a recruiter is willing to have an interview with you at 5:30 on Friday before a holiday weekend, that's not the best interview, right? They don't want to be there. Their brain is going to be checked out. So think about the other side and look into that and consider that when scheduling your interview. Okay, I hope you found this super helpful. I hope you put these tactics into practice when you are scheduling your own interview. If you'd like some more help with your job search, that is exactly what I do. My name is Cindy. I empower transitioning teachers, career changers, and those returning to the workforce to find amazing jobs that match their current why. I invite you to schedule a free 45-minute discovery call to talk about how I can help you to be successful in your job search. I hope you have a super productive week. Always remember you're a warrior. I'll catch you next week. Have a good one. Bye bye.